Pacific left it late, but boy, oh boy, did they need that result. Emmanuel Montejano comes off the bench, 90+2 from his backside to give Pacific the full 3 points, their first win since their first match of this CPL campaign. Welcome to Match Night right here on OneSoccer. Gareth Wheeler, Jordan Wilson, John Conway with you, called Team Good Looking. Or Good Looking FC. Otherwise,
you Capitano.
Honestly, the tan suit is
Capitano JC.
John Conway. We're going to wrap up Pacific York United. Each and every one of the matches that were played this week in the CPL, as well as spin you around the world of Canadian football. Let's bring you up to speed on the scores from this match day 6 of the Canadian Premier League season. Atletico Ottawa 5. Valour 2. Ottawa got sick and tired of scoring 3 goals a game, so they decided to go with a high five.
The 5-piece?
Look at that. Cavalry's like, okay, we're cool with that 3. They put 3 past Halifax Wanderers, a big away win for Cavalry. And the match you just watched on OneSoccer, Pacific FC, a 2-1 victory over York United. So here's your up-to-date table. Look at that. Atletico Ottawa on 16 points. Now, mind you, Forge and Cavalry and Vancouver and Valour all have a game in hand. But Atletico Ottawa, after that first match, opening game of the season draw, have reeled off 5 consecutive victories, make it 6, including the Canadian Championship. But let's pick up on 2 teams that desperately needed a win. Pacific and York United. It's another game where York United score the first goal of the match, and end up throwing away yet another result. Pacific were on the ascendancy throughout that game. It looked like York United were just hanging on, but who does this result speak volumes for more? Is it Pacific maybe breathing some new life into their season? Or is it more disappointment for York United, who are under the radar, are really struggling right now, Jordan?
Pacific needed the win. I'll get to York and how I really feel about my former club and their, desire not to maybe get 3 points. But Pacific, going to this match, James Merriman, you asked me pregame, was he on the hot seat? Absolutely. That seat was boiling. It was steamy. It was very hot. And you're looking at a team that was depleted in terms of injury. DePauli, Quintana. You can go down the list of players that he would need. Young. Krat. Like, there are so many players that James Merriman would need, but he needed that home win. John, I say that home win as well, to win in front of the fans, because you play Vancouver FC and then the Cup, and I know it's whatever a game, but you look at their pathway that they could have made in Can Champ, and that was done. And then to lose again on the weekend, that would have killed the fans and the vibe in that city.
Massive response from Pacific after losing the Derby midweek in the Can Champ, as you mentioned. With the guys out, the players that came in, huge performance. I thought, as you said, they ascended through the match. I thought they started off slow, but they started to gain momentum. And I'll tell you what, Ali Endom, my man can play.
Yeah.
Winning head balls, driving forward, making passes, and being a leader. And that's what they need. They need somebody to be the real leader of that group. I know a lot of that falls on to Josh Hurd, but for me, this young player has stepped up today and was excellent and put in a really good performance.
We'll roll in the highlights, and we'll kind of talk over the big moments of the match, but also continue to break this down. For York United, this has happened all too often this season. Really bright start to a game, and then they fade. It's Gabby Batar, the guy's a star in the 25th minute. Whoop!
What's Keshavar's doing there?
Yeah, right.
Right? Just bad defending here. Great move, but watch Keshavar's here. Whoop! And then Batar just does the rest. What a spin.
Way too passive, John. He's defending like he's at the middle of the pitch or in his own half. At that point, you have to get low and defend. A giveaway by Frank Stirring. Obviously, he's so great on the ball, but not a situation you want to see him in. And then we asked for Marco Bustos to be a bit more selfish. That is a great strike.
30 seconds later, Endom finds Bustos. He goes down. That's a love tap. That is so soft. And not just soft, John. We broke it down at halftime of the game. If that is a foul, that's happening outside the 18 anyways.
Absolutely. It's soft. I don't even think it's a foul. It's contact, but it's incidental. But delivery of the match from Endom. What a good ball he played in there for Bustos.
Urtiaga was gambling. He was starting way to the left, towards the left post, and Zanata's like, okay. Just decided to pass the ball into the back of the net. York United, this happened right at the end of the half. Sean Melvin takes studs up by Julian Altobelli right to the ribs. I was wondering if maybe this should have been a potential sending off card.
Card for
I love
sure.
the flex there, because if that happens to any other player anywhere else on the field, I mean, it's a sending off, right?
Yeah, I think so, Wheels. I think what saves Altobelli there is the fact that he catches him on his chest. If it's anywhere close to his face, or if there's contact that's made, I think that's a different outcome. He should have been cautioned, though. The fact that he just goes away unscathed, I think that was a bit of
there was
injustice.
a couple moments in this match where goalkeepers weren't really protected. The Melbourne one. And this is the winner here.
That's the match winner. Great ball by Bustos, but we're thinking that there may be a hint of offside. Montejano's on the ground. You'll see Machado head that ball across. But Montejano, brilliant celebration, is 2 yards off the goal line. Late chance here. Ball goes off the post, up the set piece by Shola Jimo. Hint of offside. Look, we're just legislating this, post-match. There's no VAR in the Canadian Premier League, so sometimes you live with those moments, and that's just the nature of the game, really.
Yeah, the two things I want to say quickly. The 2 goals by Pacific, I agree with both of you that they started playing better as the game went on. But you look at the goals, a penalty that was outside the box, that wasn't a foul, love tap at most. Then the second goal, it looks like Machado heads it a bit forward. Maybe Montejano's like 1.5 yards offside, but that's a 2-1 goal. But I think the most glaring stat for York United is in the 4 games that they've scored first, they haven't won any. They lost 3 of them, and they drew 2-2 to Forge. But they start well. They're playing well, they're defending well, they're getting chances going forward. And this is a former York United player speaking. Always been good defensively, lacked the goal-scoring prowess. Now they have that, and they're leaking goals and seem like every team's going to get 2 or 3 on them. And that's hurtful. So that's something they need to clear up, because I think this team is far better than the 4 points that they have right now on the table.
You bring Sterling back into the equation, and you think, okay, that'll solidify the back line a little bit. And unfortunately, they're just leaking goals. I think they need to make some changes, whether that's shifting to a different formation. I don't think that's possible at this point. They're committed to 3 in the back. But I do think that there needs to be an onus on defending and keeping some shutouts here, because they're giving up goals.
I think they really miss Elijah Atakubi. Yeah. He's the glue player that kind of connects everyone together. They don't have a like player to replace him since he's been out of the 11. So there's still some good signs when it comes to York United, but table don't lie. They have work to do. Big win for James Merriman and Pacific. Atletico Ottawa 5, Valour 2. It was the first of the 3 on Saturday, which turned into the Sam Salter show. The storyline coming in was Amir Didic, the center back. He's out for months after breaking his leg. How would Atletico Ottawa cope? And in the early stages, great goal by Sean Hundal. You're like, uh-oh, this young back line has work to do, but they settled the ship, and they absolutely dismantled Valour from here on in.
Wheels, I love that quick release from Sean Hundal. I love that. He literally needs half a yard, but they give the ball away, Valour. And then David Rodriguez is running at the back where Rocco Romeo needs to win that one, but then just puts it on the platter for Sam Salter. That is a big finish. A player I know you love, John Rodriguez, but he just puts that across, and Sam Salter can't miss from there.
He's the best player in the league, and he just sets it up perfectly for Sam Salter just to put away. But, it starts with a bad ball out of the back by Valour, and Athletic Ottawa take advantage of it. And here's Sam Salter just using his strength. Just fends him off and then just slots it near post.
He's got to be
the wrong angle. Egler just takes the wrong angle here and doesn't do a good job. Viscosi's kind of cheating. He's leaning because Salter opens up and sells it like he's going to play it to the near post. But his finishes today,
as a former goalkeeper, though, I think you want the player, you want the goalkeeper to commit a little bit more, just rather than just be stuck in that moment.
For me, he gets caught leaning because he sees Salter open up. I would just take another step forward and just close the angle down a bit more if I could.
Another great goal by David Rodriguez, the CPL Player of the Month. I mean, this is, I don't know if there's any denying it. This is the best team in the CPL right now. I'm not sure about this defending here.
Where is everybody?
Where's the line? And Salter, again.
Another really good finish, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Love that left foot.
He's improved this season. He's taken a big step, hasn't he? And the way that the team plays kind of rewards his style of play as well. Valour kind of made a close egg move off the set piece as Valour tried to push to get something out of this game. Before we see Sam Salter score his 4th goal of the day. And by the way, this right here, Sam Salter is now the answer to the trivia question, who is the first player in Canadian Premier League history to score 4 in a game. Again, high line, boom. Good finish by Sammy Salter. Came off to a standing ovation in this one today.
You can't play a high line if you're going to allow the midfielders to have that much space. Manny Aparicio had so much time and space. You have to drop. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because he's running at your back line, and then the communication between Aguilar and Romeo needs to be better. They just don't have a good understanding, and that gap was huge.
I'm sure you yelled at a couple center backs, myself being one of them, where you aren't in the right position and you gamble on one of these, raising your hand for the offside. You see Egu, he's 2 yards behind Sam Salter. Instead of running with him, fighting for that position, trying to give him a bump on the left shoulder, he does one of these and tries to play offside.
But they're disjointed. Like the back line is like this. Like it's not even a
you gotta run with him.
Back
yeah,
line.
you got to run with him.
So let me ask you this very simple question: is this Atletico Ottawa team better than Cavalry and Forge? Are they the best team in the league?
It's hard to talk about down the stretch, but I think right now this is their moment. I think they're the best team to date. September, October, that's a different type of football for me, and it's hard for me to say Atletico Ottawa are there.
Wait a second,
right
on
now,
the fence.
no, right now they're the best. But say they're the best team in the league, I can't do it yet. I can't.
John, have
We
you seen
talked
enough?
about this before.
Can't do it.
I'm buying Atletico Ottawa. They are the best
Full
team
on.
in the league. Full on. I love it. How are you not entertained?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like soccer, how are you not entertained? They're putting up goals. They're aggressive going forward. Yeah, they're giving up some. Okay, no big deal. We're just going to score another one. Like, that to me is soccer and this the way it should be now. Entertainment, go get goals. I grew up and I wanted to pitch a shutout every time I walked on the field. And that mentality is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
It is about aggressive pressing, forward play, and they got one of the best players in the league in Rodriguez, who just is a killer.
I just want to see how they do it against like a Forge. That's what I want to see.
I'm just like, the Canadian Premier League is not always the most attack-driven league. Atletico Ottawa have 20 goals through 6 games. Last season, Pacific scored 27. They're 7 goals behind what Pacific scored in 28 games last year.
Why do you say
That's
that?
wild.
Why do you say that about
Wild.
Forge though? Because they go to Cavalry and they do a number on Cavalry.
I know.
So why is that going to be a difference for you to see Forge?
For me, when I look at Atletico Ottawa, and everyone can praise them for the way that they're attacking, and I thought they were great today. I thought that young back three. I just think when there's men football as well, when Babuli's running at you or Borges or Chouanier, what that looks like. And if they can hold them on Tuesday and still play that brave, I rate it. I'm just not willing to put all my chips forward yet. It's a top team, but are they the best team? I can't say that yet.
By the way, Halifax Wanderers in 2019 only scored 21 goals.
Wild.
So 20 already. Speaking of Halifax Wanderers, goals were not in the cards today as they took on Cavalry. It was a Canadian Premier League on TSN. 5 changes for Patrice Geyser coming into this one. I know that it was difficult with Cavalry coming off 8 days between games. I mean, over that span, Halifax played Forge twice, including a game in Hamilton. Maybe the game and the balance of it's different if Ryan Telfer finishes there.
Yeah, that's a big chance.
You have to finish.
Big chance.
Go ahead.
Going here as well, Musi. I know the the handsome gentleman to my left
Let's talk
and the one
about
to
it.
my right doesn't think that this is a pen, but this is a pen.
He
Yesley
cuts the ball back because he's trying to draw.
makes contact with Musi before he gets to he doesn't get to the ball at all.
Does that
is
ball
a
not
pen.
touch Yesley at all?
No, it's a pen, John. It's a pen, Wheels. And Warshevsky finishes that pen. The ball don't lie as well.
Third goal of the season for Tobias Warshevsky. Look, I think Yesley should have stayed up, but the fact that
don't disagree with
Musi
that.
decided to play the ball into the corner, just not good enough for me. This
is
was
another
way
pen.
more of a pen for me.
No, stop saying way more. This is a pen. Stop saying way more. This is a penalty. No?
That should be a penalty.
So just say it.
But the rationale was, I think that he thought the ball was unplayable after Musi hit it.
That's still not. You can't make that assumption though, Wheels. Like you
I
can't
agree.
say like the referee can't go. Oh,
You're hit by a football.
This guy's fast. Like,
I'm
he's not
just
gonna
trying to
get
figure out what he was thinking by not calling that
the
a pen.
reason why he didn't call it, and it's because he didn't want to get
Makeup
2
call.
pens in a match. He didn't want to do that.
I thought you
Not a
meant
makeup,
makeup
no,
call.
that's not what I said. But 2 pens in a match. Warshevsky and Musi doing what they do best. Ay, 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 guy, Yesley. We were praising him, 6'7" frame. This happens to every keeper, though.
That's not Yesley, that's Old Nosley.
That's a.
Old Nosley.
Can you dig a hole any deeper there?
The genuine laugh from Conway.
That's tough because he's been good. He's been good.
Do you love this pass, Conway?
I don't like this one. Look at, they just give up on the play. Cavalry, Rampersad, then they stop running, and the white flag was up, and it just gives Moosey a second.
Well done from Shamit Shom, though. Well-weighted pass. Good finish from Moosey on the weaker foot. 3-0, man.
We just went over this with Ottawa, and we talked about I'm all in, I'm buying Ottawa, and we asked each other a few weeks ago about Halifax. And I was on the fence with Halifax. I wasn't ready. This is probably why. That last moment there where you see those guys give up shows me a little bit of, are they all in?
Yeah. I've explained it, and I don't know if I'm right.
It's a wake-up call.
That's what you said.
Wake-up call.
And I said this is a good team that's had a great moment so far. How do they respond to this? This is going to be a different bit. I'm not saying they're not a playoff team. Forget rankings. They are obviously at the top half of this Canadian Premier League season. But are they going to go and compete? And I think that has to do with a lot of this.
Yep. Yeah.
And let's see how they grow through that mental toughness.
Still need Dunback. Still need Mekadesh.
Yeah,
too many changes for me. I understand players are leggy and tired, but this was a big litmus test type game, and they weren't up to snuff. And quite frankly, the rest of the league, the fact that Warshevsky, now Moosey are going, look out.
Heads up.
Cavalry, could be time for them to go on a little bit of a run.